Alright, welcome back YouTube, here with another video. I'm playing some lo-fi music in the background, and I guess you guys can hear that, right? Yeah, I should be able to hear that. But I don't want to, I need to put on my headphones because I don't want the background noise to interfere with my microphone. That's already happened a few times, and I realize it's because I got this giant speaker blasting away. And it's loud enough to interfere with the microphone. The simple solution is just to put on some headphones. Alright, so let me do that. Go to System, Settings, go to Bluetooth, and I'm gonna try to add these guys. They should be automatically added, unless I have them on my phone. Nope, Bluetooth on my phone is off. So, I don't know what the deal is there. I don't know if my Bluetooth has been deactivated. But it should be there. Or maybe I've turned off Bluetooth. Oh, it's on. Oh, here we go. So I can hear the music, I think you can hear the music, we all can hear the music, and we're all pretty happy as a result. Yeah, nice. I wasn't going to try to show the video, but I guess I will just for a minute there. But copyright should be fine. But shout out to the lo-fi channels. They've been very therapeutic. I do find their lo-fi tracks to be pretty healing. And there's always a good time and a place to use some of that lo-fi. And so that's what I'm using these days, as I'm just trying to get along through life, basically in one piece. Yeah. So here's the video. We're doing September 1941, Operation Barbarossa. We're going to be playing as the Soviets. We're going to do the production, switch over to the Axis production, then do the Axis turn, followed by Soviet turns. Pretty much wrap up the month, but this is yet another month in Operation Barbarossa. Already, I would say some of the more climactic battles have already happened. Leningrad has been cut off. We almost have overrun the Ukraine, except for Stadino. Still ongoing battle there. But we've taken Kyiv. We still got more fighting here west of Moscow. Probably where the next battle is going to take place, but Soviet army has been pretty good at withdrawing and just making sure that their forces have fallen back to the necessary defensive lines. Yeah. And so we're now just got to keep defending pretty much. Have a stable defense. We've been able to at least patch up the defensive line. No major breaches in the Soviet line, which is good to see. And if there has been any, we've been quick to patch them up. But I realized that I forgot to do something in the last turn. This corps was actually part of an originally attacking group in the area of Nazin, and I had it pull out on the last turn. Well, actually, there are going to be pursuers that can pursue. Here's a Panzer Corps, so its combat pursuit firepower is going to be equal to the withdrawing unit. They both are motorized mechanized formations. So we get to roll 2 single fire dice as part of the 3rd Panzer Corps' pursuit, and they score no hits. So either way, it was a dud. So this unit does get away scot-free. Okay, so that was it. That was all I had to do for the Soviet production, but we're in the month of October. Weather, it is a dice roll for the weather, but I'm going to spend my usual 20 production points on my main 2 HQs. Our Stavka is completely exhausted right now, so I'm going to really try to avoid using it this month. But the Western HQ is still full strength. That's pretty good. So it's already 20 production points. I think that's it. The rest I'm going to spend on like ground troops if I can. We have a lot of lost Soviet units here. Soviet production has been taking a beating. We're now at 52 production, is what I calculate. I can always count again. Riga, Minsk, Kyiv, Odessa, Kryvyi Rog, Zaporozhye, that's 6, plus Dnipropetrovsk, that's another 2. So that's 8 plus Kharkov. Did I already lose count? I think I did. Oh, I also got to include Leningrad. So that'll be 12 with Leningrad, plus another 2 from Dnipropetrovsk and Kharkov. It's a total of 16 production points lost. And yeah, we're at 52 production from the original 68. And so we've already spent 2. So that leaves us with 22 production to build up ground units. Question is what do we want to build up? And I'm going to build up all my infantry to full strength. At least build up the armies. This time I really will. So that's 8 already. 2 apiece. It's a total of 8. So that leaves me with 16 production points left. Probably going to put 2 more at Bryansk. So that leaves me now with 12. Maybe build up the 12th army. That leaves me with 10. Or I can spend it on 3 more cadre, which I think is what I want to do. The Soviets. Also, it's important to keep in mind that we're in the month of October. Oh, so we actually don't receive any reinforcements. Dang it, I thought we did. Not yet. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and just build 3 more cadre Soviet armies. And that will be a wrap up for the Soviet production. Soviets definitely have lost their fair share of units throughout the battles here. But we'll build a couple more armies. We have right now 4 production points left. I kind of want to build up maybe the cavalry infantry here. Try to make sure the flanks are a little stronger. I could also call in a Soviet unit in advance. I may want to do that. I probably will. Just so that we have somewhat of a chance at holding Stalino for at least another turn. We will see. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and do it. So you can actually, there's an actual rule. For those of you who do not believe me, there is a rule in which you can actually call in a reinforcement unit in advance before it actually arrives. And I'm just going to go to production section, talk about reinforcements. And here it is, 11.82 advanced arrival. This is a secret move according to the developers. But the arrival of 1 reinforcement can be advanced 1 month by expanding production points equal to that unit's cadre costs. So you actually have to spend money for it to arrive in advance. Or it also says alternatively, 1 reinforcement unit of greater than 1 CV can be advanced 1 month by reducing its arrival strength by 1 CV. So that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call in Soviet, we'll say the 2nd Shock Army. And we'll call them the 1st. It's going to arrive here in Mariupol, but it's going to lose 1. And the idea there is that we can at least fortify Mariupol, protect the flank. I can still build up 1 more unit. The real question is which unit do I want to build up? I have 4 more production points left. So I could build up more infantry, build up more mech. Probably just going to spend it on the infantry. Just make sure I have as much infantry as I can build, really, as I can afford. Yeah. That's going to be our interesting build for the Soviets. We can switch over to the British, focus on North Africa. I think they got some production that they stored over from the last turn. They have 15. We're going to roll 5 dice. We get 11 plus another, what is that, 6? So that's 17 altogether. Right? Plus the 15, that puts them at 32 production points. Man, I really hope I did my math correctly in that last game. I don't think I actually did the German I don't think I did the German calculation correct at all. I may have given the Germans 10 extra production points by accident. Oopsie daisies. Anyways, I can adjust that. But right now the British are receiving 17 plus 15 of the last turn, so they get 32 altogether, which is a pretty handsome sum. So I'm going to actually build up these 2 units by 6 apiece, and then build up 2 more of these HQs, 10 apiece. That's a total of 32 right there. And I'm pretty sure the Germans, they had I believe they had 35, not 45, which makes a lot more sense. Also, this month we get reinforcements coming into Britain, which is pretty interesting. We have 28 production. Question is what do we want to spend it on? I think I'm going to spend it on this HQ, and then that leaves me with 18 production left, and I was going to build up the mech units. I think at least 1 mech, the 2nd Cavalry, definitely. Oh, and then this varsity, or veteran unit rather, can send it over to North Africa, and then that leaves me with 1 more 6 I can build up. And I figure the best build would be just another mech unit. Doesn't really matter which. Ideally we could spend it on the airborne unit, but it's too expensive. Unless I actually I actually could try. Problem with this HQ, if I want to use it for a paratrooper operation, I just don't think the HQ actually has enough range. No. We would need a city that is 4 hexes away to land. Unless I put the HQ way up there. Which I could do in theory. That would be quite a move, wouldn't it? Move the British HQ all the way to Shetlands for an amphibious invasion. That would be something. That would be really something. Try to increase our chances of pulling off a amphibious landing at Bergen, something like that. That would be an interesting move. Very expensive move, of course. Of course, we would have to put the HQ, send it off over there, and have it set up anyways. So that's an interesting move. Maybe I do. I'm actually going to go ahead and do it. The British HQ paratrooper costs 12 production points, by the way. You can see for the ally costs, the paratrooper are 12. Very expensive. So we'll see if it's worth it. But that's all I got for the British. So the British are definitely much more ready to make a move against the Axis. The Axis, though, look pretty fortified, I must say. The British are going to find a way to break the siege if they want to have any progress in North Africa. The other option, of course, is to invade Algeria and Morocco. I don't think we can do that until summer 1942, though. And I can check on the basically there's a special allied move called 2F, which is Second Front, and it basically allows the Axis miners become demoralized, the Allies gain the initiative, and they may now declare war on neutrals cooperating with the Axis without the betrayal effect. That would also apply to Vichy France. Oh, and then the Canadian Mech Corps become NF expeditions. That's interesting. So that really tells me that really the Allies are not ready to attack Norway until 1942. Perhaps not until we may have to wait a little longer, as opposed to going for it in 1941, which I don't know how I feel about. I'd rather have the British try to focus on somewhere in France in 1941, 1942. I think we are going to try landing, though. Maybe Norway is a bit too complex of an operation. Maybe we can try to go for Cherbourg. You know, we don't have amphibious units, so I'm going to have to redeploy my amphibious unit to the south if I want to do anything. I could also try to get an amphibious unit to maybe land over here. I'm gonna try to go for somewhere like Rotterdam or Alkmaar. Again, not really the greatest, most attractive targets given how close they are to Germany. I'd rather probably go, if I could attack anywhere, I'd probably try to attack Brest. But we do have an HQ. We do have a paratroopers, which may help. So there's still reason for us to consider an attack in the south, is all I'm trying to say. So anyways, that's going to sum up the British production. Switch over to Axis production now. Oh man, I realized I didn't even freaking start the log file. Oopsie daisies. And so no problem. I'm just gonna have to start it halfway in. I guess I'll call it Axis, just to indicate to myself that the British production has already been done, but it's not a big issue. And so now we're switching over to Axis production. I'm going to reduce this German HQ by 1. I just don't think they had 45. They had 35. I had spent 32 on all those ground units. And then I spent, according to my calculations, I then spent it on another infantry unit, I think. Or no, it was another mech unit, I believe, that I spent it on. So that made it from 32 to 41. And then I had 5 left. So yeah, I definitely overspent. The least I can do is just reduce this HQ by 1. I think that's reasonable. The Germans are going to deploy this HQ, or this light Africa Corps unit in Tripoli. Go ahead and do the German production. We'll still keep it at 25. So that is 7, 8 plus 10 is 18 production, and we can spend 18. I'm probably gonna pass on this turn, seeing as how I can't really build up too many units. I don't want to waste any production, so I'm gonna save whatever is left over and move it to 19, move it to the next month. Okay, and then as far as the Western Front production is concerned, we still have 1 more month of favorable weather. So I think I'm going to have OKH build up again. That leaves me with 7 production on the Western Front, which is not a whole lot. But I can spend that 7 on building up some militia units. I can also build up an infantry unit. I think I'm going to build up this guy over here. Try to swap those 2 units out pretty much. But I'd rather have that unit at full strength before I do that. So that's that. That's the Western Front production, pretty straightforward. Eastern Front production, it's a bit more complicated, I think. We have more production. Our production this time has definitely gone up. It's at 65 right now. I'm going to trust my calculation there. 10 at Warsaw. Another 10 at Orsha, another 10 at Luga, and then 2 more in the Ukraine, for a total of 50. That leaves us with 15 production left over. And then what do we want to spend that 15 on? That's a good question. I can build up this mountain unit. It costs 5 production. That leaves me with 10. And I'm thinking I can spend this 10 on maybe building up this mech unit here and this infantry, beefing up the flank of Kharkov a bit. I have a lot of level 2 units all around here. They're all under strength. All these German units are under strength, and they barely can attack. So I don't know if I really want to use those units to attack, frankly. I think I may even actually reduce Army Group South's production. So that's going to give me another 10. And if I can decrease this mech unit, that gives me 16 production altogether. And I'm going to spend that 16, I think, on building up all these other units over here. I want to have as many strong units as I can assemble for an attack on Smolensk. It's probably going to be our last major offensive for the turn. So build up 2 infantry. I can also build up a Panzer Corps if I want, or build up 2 other infantry. It's pretty much the same either way. I mean, I'd rather build up the Panzer Corps, I think. But I may just focus on building up just the infantry, because I think we're going to suffer some pretty heavy losses. Also, I got to keep in mind that I can only transition 3 units, so I can put 2 units in there, maybe 2 infantry, maybe infantry and a cavalry, or infantry and a mech rather. Yeah, we're just going to spend it all on infantry. So we don't have as many panzers as we would for the Battle of Smolensk, but we do have a lot of infantry. They should be strong enough to absorb the hits. And I want to make sure we can ideally break through here at Smolensk once and for all. I just need one turn of favorable weather, and I think I can take Smolensk, possibly maybe even take Bryansk. I would like to take Bryansk if I can. I think that'd be in our 2-hour advantage if we were to go for Bryansk. Try to take it underneath the nose of the Soviets, but the problem about Bryansk is that we have to encircle it. And then I'm going to prioritize on Stalino, possibly even Rostov, but I really want to take Stalino if we can. Then I don't have to worry too much about Kharkov for now. It's taken. I would rather just fortify it. There's a lot of Soviet armies that are nearby that seem like they could be a big threat if we're not careful. So, and then of course we have the Leningrad siege, which for all sakes and purposes is completely ineffective. The Finnish have their own separate production. I got to keep that in mind. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to spend that 5, not on this unit. I'm going to spend that 5 all the way here. I almost forgot about Murmansk. In fact, I forgot about it entirely as the Soviets. I just realized. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I want to defend it for the Soviets. I think it's too late. I think I already made the move. So I made a big blunder with the Soviets. I forgot to reinforce Murmansk. So that was kind of a freebie for the Germans. But hopefully we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it has any impact on the war. It may not. It may or may not. Maybe I'm overreacting. But, I mean, we definitely could take Leningrad in the future. I have 3 Panzer Corps sitting right outside of Leningrad. But the problem is that they are, and they're at full strength. But the only issue I have is that they are simply, Leningrad is just really well fortified. And I know that we're going to have a long season ahead of us of bad weather. So I'd rather make sure that Army Group North is at full strength. So I'd rather wait. Wait until OKH is at full strength, frankly, before I do any other moves. So yeah, there's that. That's some extra moves I wanted to point out. But yeah, I think we're ready to start the German production. I decided to not focus on Army Group South, which may be a weird move, maybe a bad move, but the idea is that I can focus on Army Group Center, focus on Stalino. And those are going to be our main objectives. So we're going to start the turn now. Month of October. And what better way to start the turn than with some weather rolls. And the dice roll are even, meaning that we actually get even weather. And so, yeah, the Germans get another turn of good weather. Sounds good. So I think what we're going to do is just try to go all out on Smolensk. See if it works. It may not. I'm going to move up 2 infantry, strong infantry, into Smolensk. I'm going to pull out 2 infantry. It's going to be a mostly infantry-focused battle, frankly. I could also try to launch a simultaneous attack on Bryansk. Try to attack both of these cities at once. I have mixed feelings about that, just because the Soviets probably have it very well defended. But it's going to be our easiest chance of taking Bryansk, I think, for the foreseeable future. Unless I don't see us, doing much else. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to gamble the attack. I'm going to send 2 infantry and a Panzer Corps into there. I can also move up these mech reinforcements, which is nice, very nice. The flanks are looking pretty secure too. I got a Panzer Corps in reserve. You know what? I'm actually gonna move this mech units there, and then I can even pull back this 9th Infantry Corps, pull them out, because I don't really need a strong unit there. I would rather have a weaker unit. Ideally, you want a strong unit protecting the flank, but I'm focusing on attacks, so we'll see how these attacks go. And then I think I am going to activate OKH. Yeah. Oh, we're also going to blitz with Army Group A. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to transfer over all our armor from Kharkov and have them move over to Stalino. And we're just going to stack up there. We can also move up another infantry corps. Try to attack this target here at Izium. See if we can destroy that Soviet unit there. And since we're blitzing, you know, I do have a few extra units. So I'm thinking, you know, we could send forth this mech unit into Izium, and it would be able to blitz on the next turn. And that way I just sort of consolidate my strength of units. That's the idea. And then the other thing I gotta figure out is, do I want to attack the flank of Stalino? And I think the short answer is yes, I do. But I'm gonna attack with 2 infantry corps, not just 1, so that, you know, our chances of casualties are just somewhat manageable. And then I'm going to activate OKH, and I can move 4 units now on the Eastern Front. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move 2 Panzer Corps, and also this German HQ. Yeah, so these units did, see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then this unit did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 as well. Huh. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I've done 3 supreme moves, but now we have a reserve army group as well as basically a reserve panzer group that I can use to attack Bryansk on any future turn. And that's why I decided to move in. So now we have, of course, a skeletal defense here in Leningrad. We do have a panzer corps right there. That's pretty strong. But I think for the last move, I'm going to try to get this unit to move up to Leningrad, reinforce that sector. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a little too far away, unfortunately. Unless there's a faster route. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that was the fastest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So unfortunately, that's as far north as we can move up that German unit. So yeah, we definitely have a skeletal unit in the north. I don't know how I feel about that. Kind of have some mixed feelings. I can also go ahead and activate OKH, and I would be able to move 2 more units on the Eastern Front. Not a whole lot, but it's better than nothing. I'm gonna take, for example, I could move up this Panzer Corps, put it in range of Army Group Center. So now the Germans have an extra Panzer Corps that they can mobilize. And then maybe I can transfer over, I don't know, another infantry unit perhaps. I forgot to do diplomatic events, but I probably wanted to unlock this unit at Odessa. Since I'm playing very casually, I may just give myself the benefit of the doubt there. But of course, in hindsight, I probably should do these rules in advance. But yeah, the 3rd Romanian army release, I roll a 1 or a 4. And we have Balkans pacified, and we also have Odessa controlled, so let's do that roll. It's a 6, so we don't even get it anyways. But I was thinking about moving maybe 1 more unit over. So yeah, I don't know which unit to really advance. Probably move this Kyiv unit. There's really either that, or I can move up... Yeah, I can also move this unit up closer to the front if need be. Maybe that's just what I'll do. So now I feel a little bit better, a little bit more confident about our defenses here at Leningrad. Now that I got 2 corps at Dno. It's going to be hard for the Soviets to break through there. Not impossible though, but it's going to be harder. So now, I mean, OKH, or OKW rather, completely exhausted. I've definitely exhausted all my German HQs. I'm not expecting any more reinforcements from the west for the rest of the conflict, really. But anyways, let's go ahead and do these battles. We've got a lot of battles going on. We're going to put our airstrikes there. Another airstrike on Smolensk. And let's start the battles. We'll start at Smolensk. See how it goes. Soviet defenders versus German attackers. And let's go. Let's see how the battle goes. Soviets have a lot of infantry. You know, single fire units, but they still have a lot of them. But they do have that mech, or armored core rather. Airstrike is triple fire. They score no hits. Okay, not a good start for the Germans. Soviets are going to roll their armor first, followed by the infantry and mech and all that, cavalry. Okay, they actually didn't score very good hits either. They only scored 1 hit against the Germans. So let's see what the German Panzer Corps and Infantry Corps can do. Start with the Panzer Corps. Wow, only 1 hit. Very uneventful turn. Very uneventful turn. Both sides basically a stalemate. Now we do the Battle of Bryansk. Soviets have 5 units defending there. It's not an easy defense to crack. They scored 2 hits right off the bat. And then now we roll the Panzer Corps followed by the infantry. They don't score any hits. Okay. So I'm pretty sure this German attack has already flopped before it even really gained any serious momentum. I'm just not seeing any serious German breakthrough. So that's a real bummer. That is a super bummer. But that's all we really can afford for the Germans. A few more battles though. Let's move on to the Ukraine. Do the battles there. 7th Mech Corps scores 1 hit. It's been a pretty tough unit. I feel confident though that we can wipe them out. Panzer Corps scores a hit, followed by the infantry and mech. There you go. Boom, another single fire. And just like that, we've neutralized Soviet Mech Corps there at Izium. Strong unit, but not invincible. We had a 4-1 advantage, of course. But now we're going to do the Battle of Stalino, and I really hope we can take it. We're going to start with the airstrike. It scores 1 half hit. Defenders roll 2. They score 1 hit. Don't have very strong infantry, but we do have 2 Panzer Corps. Let's see what they can do. Oh man, they do nothing. So we did score 1 hit with the mech unit. We neutralized 1 of the Soviet armies, but we did not take it. But not to worry, for we do have a blitz. And so let's do that blitz right now. We've actually broken through here in the north. So if I wanted to, I could try to like send a unit forward. Maybe try to encircle more Soviet formations. It's certainly an option. I'm not really all too convinced that's the best move. I'm going to send these 2 cavalry units there, or 2 infantry units there, and then I think we kind of already have the best attack setup, in my opinion. Target against Stalino. I'm just going to go ahead and move up 2 Panzer Corps, or 1 Panzer Corps, 1 Infantry Corps. Then I'm going to pull out the weaker infantry. I don't need that guy. Then I'm going to pull out the mech units, have it move all the way to the north to Poltava, which I think is probably where it should go. This infantry unit can go here, and then I'll move this guy there. That way, we're not... I mean, our front line is still a little vulnerable, if you ask me, but it should be enough to hold out for at least a little while longer. And then this mech unit, I mean, let's be real. I don't think it's a very attractive move. I'd rather have it hold the flank. That seems to be a better move. So we have the flanks pretty well protected with these mech corps. They have double fire and defense. Kharkov also has double fire. Not to say the Soviets can't break through, but, you know, they're going to have their money's worth for sure. And then we still have the main assault right now at Stalino, which is really what counts. So let's do it. Before I do that, I'm going to make any extra movements here in the north. Bryansk looks impenetrable right now. Just don't have enough firepower. These units were all rail moved. So I should indicate that with a rail marker, because then you know that these units can't participate in the blitz. That's why you want to do that. But I have these, I have an infantry corps here. I'm going to send it either that or another mech unit. I may just go all in with the panzers. Yeah, I'm not really sure what else to do. The Battle of Bryansk looks really lousy. I can try to launch another attack, but it doesn't have any air support. It just doesn't look like a promising move, if you ask me. So I don't know. I think it's pretty clear to me that the Germans, the only thing we can do is like concentrate our panzers on Smolensk. And even though we're concentrating our panzers, 3 panzer corps, it still may not be enough to actually take it. And we'll see how we do with casualties, because they could be pretty high. But I guess I'll launch another attack on Bryansk. I don't see what else to do. Although I'm pretty sure it's going to be very easy for the Soviets to reinforce. But we're going to stick to the just the overall attack plan, I guess. I guess I can also move in a weaker panzer corps if I want, and then pull out. I can pull out another unit. 2 units in, 1 unit out. Yeah. Now, at the very least, that way we know that we have a strong. Our flanks are secure, which is really important. And we're doing our best to attack with as many units as we can. And I think that seems pretty reasonable. I don't think there's really any real need to advance units right now over here, especially since I want to put distance between us and the Soviet army for the winter. So we're obviously attacking in hindsight. You know, the Germans know about the Soviet strengths in the winter operations, unlike what they had historically. So we're going to go ahead and start the battle here at Smolensk. Let's see how it goes. Soviets are still plenty of troops there. Air power scores 1 hit. We'll take it. Defenders roll, starting with their armor. There you go. 3 hits altogether from the Soviets. So unfortunately, we are gonna lose 1 Panzer Corps in the process. 1 Panzer Division rather. But we still have 8 Panzer Divisions to roll with. Only 1 scores a hit. So yeah, the German attacks were just very lousy. But we have grinded down the Soviets, but we did not break through. And now we can try Bryansk. We'll see how this goes. Soviets do not defend very well. We are attacking with 5 Panzer Divisions. There we go, got some hits. Also the infantry can roll. Almost. We scored 1 hit. Okay, so at least we reduced the defense there somewhat. Better than what we had in Leningrad, I'll tell you that much. But that's going to sum up our turn for Army Group North is blitz there. And then now we got the last round here at Smolensk. We're going to do airstrike, half a hit. Mech units, or rather the defenders with infantry, no hits. We can roll our panzer. They scored the other hit. And boom, we've just taken Stalino. Thank goodness. Now we also got a battle here at Mariupol. To our surprise, the Soviet shock army is there. They score no hits. The Germans they're attacking against double defense, no hits either. So there you go. Stalino was a nice little victory though for the Germans. So what we're going to do is the Soviets are going to lose 3. Wow, so their production is going down to 49 now. But the German production is going to go up by 4. So yeah, their production right now is at 69. So technically they've gained, what is that, from 54, they've gained 15 production. Let me double check. They've gained 15 production. So 4 from Stalino, because it's doubled the resource. 2 from Kharkov, we're at 6. I think another 5 over here. So that puts us at 11. Plus Odessa is 12. 13, 14, 15. Yep. They sure did. They gained 15 production. So yeah, the German industry is growing. It's at 69. The Soviet is at 49, but in order to actually have an economic advantage against the Soviet Union, they need to have about a production of 100 to the Soviet 50, because the Soviet units are literally twice the cost. So, or half the cost rather. Oh, and I forgot to do one last battle, didn't I? Oopsie daisies. Let's go ahead and do it. Battle of Army Group North over here. Airstrike. Boom. 2 hits. Eliminated. Voila. We've now taken Murmansk. Amazing. No, I've definitely given a little bit of German bias there. I've been kind of sloppy with my turns, but hopefully it's all in good fun. But yeah, so the Soviets actually are now going to lose another 5 production because they've lost Murmansk. Ouch. Probably should have given them another turn, and then maybe roll the dice with bad weather, see if that would have been any different. But turn's been done. So anyways, we've now finished the German turn. Let's switch over to the Soviets. Soviets have actually lost a number of small battles, but the battles are adding up, right? I mean, Stalino, that was a pretty heavy loss. Murmansk, heavy loss. But they still are holding out at Smolensk. That's the good news. But for how much longer? How much longer can the Soviets hold out? That's the real question. And so Soviets can maybe bring up more reinforcements into Smolensk. We're going to have to activate an HQ, though, to do that. And, of course, that's going to cost some production points. And we really don't have... I mean, I could send up the 26th Infantry Corps. But, like, let's be real. I mean, is it really the most cost-effective unit that we need right now? I'm not going to use Stavka. It is way too under strength. This unit should be a level 2. I don't know why it's like that. Okay, so, yeah. Soviet situation still looking pretty bad, if you ask me. Pretty bad. I mean, we don't really have... We could try to patch up the front over here. And that's really the only move I have for the Soviets. Just patch up this front. Plug it up. Put a new unit there. And then as far as which unit, I don't even think the Soviets have any good units, really. So, I think the Soviets are going to pass this turn. Oddly enough, I mean, I don't even have that many reinforcements to move up to Smolensk. So, yeah, we're basically giving the Germans another turn. Another opportunity to launch more attacks, basically. The British here, I don't think we're going to do anything in North Africa. But I did want to maybe start shifting some units around for an amphibious invasion, if at all possible. I don't think we actually have the production for it, and this HQ is not ready. So, or this beachhead isn't ready. So I think we're gonna hold off with the British for now, unless I want to move up. I mean, I could try to move up this HQ unit. But I think I'm going to wait. Or I keep saying HQ unit. I meant to say German... Excuse me. I'm getting all my units mixed up right now. British mech unit. Excuse me. We are definitely going to get the hang of it there. Alright, so anyways, we're switching to the next fortnight. Switching back to the Axis. We get to roll again for the weather. And with it, unsurprisingly, it's mud. And so now we get mud on the Eastern Front. We don't have any mud on the Western Front, not yet, not until November. No weather in the, it's all clear weather in North Africa and the Middle East all the time. So now we have mud effects, and mud is very different than clear weather. So all the HQs are disrupted, all the defenders have double fire defense, and all the attackers can only damage on single fire dice rolls. So literally Germans are going to pass this turn. We're literally passing this turn. No point of making movement. We can't even command any units. Our HQs are just too weak anyways. Maybe we could have used Army Group North to attack Smolensk, but it's not worth it. Triple fire against Bryansk, also not worth it. Not right now. I'd rather pass the turn, I think, than try to attack triple fire with only single fire dice rolls of attack. No way. So we're gonna pass the German turn. Likewise, we're gonna quit, or rather pass the Soviet turn as well. Let me see here, make sure I switch the right faction. Yeah, the Soviets are gonna pass their turn. And then now, all we have left is the British. And I don't think the British are gonna do much. I don't think we're gonna do much for the British, nope. So maybe we should, because British production, no, whatever it's next turn, I think we're gonna have to just spend away some other units, pretty much. Yeah, all our ground units are full of strength, so it's on the British to actually start launching an offensive operation, in my opinion. But we need this 21st HQ to be at full strength before we do that. So yeah, British are going to pass their turn, Soviets are going to pass their turn. So that was it. That was the whole month. Not as eventful as you would think, but that's just the effects of the mud season. Nobody wants to move. And so with that, we're going to stop this month turn. So that was a pretty fast one. But now we're in the month of November. And now we do have winter on the Eastern Front, and the Soviets get to roll first on the winter. So we'll see what the Soviets can do. Right now, their dead pile is not looking too good. They need to build up a lot more infantry if they want to have offensive power for the winter campaign. So that's what we're going to try to do with the Soviet army. We're just going to build up our reserves, prioritize on reserve building, and keep all our current units alive, and then really try to get a good winter offensive going. Try to push the German army back somewhere. I think attacking Leningrad would be a good target, and free up the rail line to Leningrad. Maybe try to retake Murmansk. Could be a worthy objective. That's another one. But yeah, just figure out some plan of action that we can do to get our units moving up to the front line, somewhere, anywhere. And try to push the German army back somewhere. And so, whether it's pushing them out of Kharkov, whether it's pushing them, we just got to push them out of them somewhere. We need to have a victory somewhere along the front, I think. Get a little payback against the German offensive. And then we'll see how 1942 looks. But right now, German army is still the stronger of the two, but the winter effects are going to have a big change, give the Soviets the mobility advantage. That's going to be quite a pain for the Germans. But even then, the Soviet mobility is not free of cost. Soviets have to spend a lot on logistics to move their units. So we'll see how it goes. I'm presuming there's going to be a stalemate at Smolensk and Bryansk, at least for the winter. Maybe I don't see either side being strong enough to repulse the other. Maybe the Soviets can breach along a flank. Breach the flanks of Smolensk, try to encircle Smolensk, maybe breach the flanks at Kharkov. I doubt it. Maybe try to breach somewhere here in Stalino. Again, Germans look pretty well dug in the Ukraine, if you ask me. So yeah, we got to figure out what the Soviets are going to do, but I think Leningrad is probably the best target, without a doubt. Most practical target, for sure. So that's it for this video. I'm going to wrap it up here. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, definitely stay tuned for the next episode, where we'll do November, pretty much the last month of Operation Barbarossa before it really comes to an end, before the Soviets have the strategic initiative. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.